Hello out there. It's time for the MCC News. This is the Week 7 edition. I am your host, your 5-time champion, Alan Morrow. Now let's get to it. Okay, first topic. 16 bye week this week. A lot of players on bye. Just about everyone is affected. As of yesterday, when I did the research, myself, I have 2 players on bye, which are Miles Sanders and Chuba Hubbard. Cortez has 3 people on bye. Mixon and T. Higgins are the most consequential. James has 2 people. Neither of them are big factors. Bink has 2 people. Only Tony Pollard is a big hit for him. Jeremy has 3, which is Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, and Joe Burrow. So luckily his roster should be still strong and be able to withstand that. But those are pretty big hits. Will has 2 people, which is Adam Thielen and Jamar Chase. His wide receiver is going to take a huge hit. It looks like Gabe has 4. Gabe has the most of everybody. Pierce and Nico Collins are going to be his 2 big ones, though. Tyra's down 2 people, with DeAndre Hopkins being the most important. Lee, 3 people on bye. Derrick Henry is one of them. Schrader's the only one that doesn't have anyone on bye. Congratulations, Schrader. Good job. Doug has 2 people. Cowboys defense are the big one, though. And Jim has 2, with CeeDee Lamb being the big one. This is the first of 2 16 bye weeks. The next one coming in week 13, a very important week, which is the second to last week of our regular season. And that has Baltimore, Minnesota, Buffalo, Chicago, Las Vegas, and the Giants. So still probably a handful of really good players are going to be missing in very important times. Next topic. We're going streaking. We have a handful of different win and losses streak going right now. Lee's the only one with the win streak. Streaks are defined as 3 or more. So Lee's the only one with 6. He's 6-0. He's on a 6-game win streak. Congratulations, Lee. Keep on going. Losing streaks. Jim, 6-game losing streak. He's 0-6. Then myself is next with 4. Started 2-0, 0-4 since. Just hoping for the best at this point. And then Doug is on a 3-game losing streak. So hopefully he can turn around. A few teams on a cusp of winning streaks is Jeremy and James. Both are currently won 2 in a row. They win this week. They'll be streaking. So good job. The next, which is Position Week, Part 1, Moving and Shaking. Time for the standings to get jumbled up here. Position Week, it's a big week. We have Lee versus Will, 6-0 versus 5-1. We have James and Schrader that are both 4-2 going against each other. Tyra and Gabe that are both 3-3 going against each other. Doug, that 3-3 going against Jeremy at 2-4. Then myself and Cortez are playing each other. We're both 2-4. Then we have Bink that's 2-4 and Jim 0-6. So Binky is in a big must-win game. Myself and Cortez are in must-win games. To stay ahead of it, Jeremy is kind of around those fringes too. Doug's team keeps on getting hit with injuries, even though it's not necessarily a big one. He also just lost Damian Harris, who was taken off in the ambulance last week. If you're on Doug's team, you might get injured. But yeah, we battle for first place still. James and Schrader, both low draft capital. Both are making strong pushes here. Let's keep it going. Which brings us to a special matchup of the week. We have 2 of them. The first being Will versus Lee. The rematch of the unbeatens from last week. Lee did take advantage of this and going to 6-0, giving Will his first L of the season. Will gets to face Stephon Diggs now for the 3rd time in a row. As we went over those buys, neither of them should be overly affected by it. So let's give it going. And then the next matchup of the week is Tyra versus Gabe, the rematch. Another rematch from last week. They're both 3-3. Both of them can really start to push. Gabe with probably, he would say himself, the surprise victory over Tyra last week. Let's see if he can keep it going. He's down a couple Houston Texans. And Tyra, if he goes halfway through this season and under 500 at the halfway mark, and Jeremy is guaranteed to be under 500, 2 of the people with the most draft capital all their draft picks are basically done halfway through the draft, and they're both could be under 500 halfway through. So maybe trading for tons of draft assets isn't as valuable as we once thought. Which brings us to Tyrus Fab thoughts on the season. We had 5 players with bids on them this week. The top going was the running back Evans from the Rams, with both of their running backs Rivers and Kyron Williams being hurt. I won him with $16. The next highest bid with $12, so pretty close battle there. The Browns defense had 4 bids. Cortez came out as the lucky winner on that one. Just a quick Fab update. We have currently 6, half the league under $60 in Fab. Currently, Will has the lowest amount of Fab left with $36, Binky $39, myself at $47, James with $53, Lee with $53, and Jim with $57. So halfway through, almost half the budget, in some cases more than half the budget are already gone. Let's keep it going. Craig Reynolds was another interesting one that went with Cortez for $12, no additional bids. But let's see if he kind of needed it. At one point, all his bench players were on bye. After adds and drops, he only deals with a couple buys right now. So that is this week's edition, Week 7 edition of the news. Good luck to everybody out there. And as always, let's go Lions, fuck the Ravens.